You're locked in listening to Sister Izzy on the Beat, man. Join me each and every Tuesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Caribbean time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock UK and Nigeria, via YouTube and Facebook at Sis Izzy Thomas. See you there.
You need. We'll be right back.
You're locked in listening to Sister Izzy on the Beat, man. Join me each and every Tuesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Caribbean time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock UK and Nigeria, via YouTube and Facebook at Sis Izzy Thomas. See you there.
Sister Izzy, Sister Izzy, she's on the air, she's heard everywhere, naturally, internationally, globally. She's on the beat. She's on the beat. She's on the beat. Sister Izzy on the beat. She's on the beat.
You're locked in listening to Sister Izzy on the Beat, man. Join me each and every Tuesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Caribbean time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock UK and Nigeria, via YouTube and Facebook at Sis Izzy Thomas. See you there.
From just outside, there's some bagging that was going on right there, too, some sandbagging. That they had right there, vacant lot that was showing there in the video as well. And this is Brett flying dangerously with his drone coming back into the shoreline and some of the damage that was already done right there into the short term is what we've been seeing. We'll show you some more of that information as we move along into the hours to come. But right now, the drone was one of the big deals that I needed you to see. Back to the maps again to show you what's happening with the radar image. Again, I'll put this into motion to show you the flow, everything wrapping in and around low pressure. It's very easy to see where the low is at this point. It is showing up very well on the radar imagery right about here, coming across Marsh Harbor and moving on from east to west, coming on shore, actually, if you will, kind of moving. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this that is a little disconcerting to me at the moment is okay, so the storm is coming in here. Let me get a little bit closer. All you have to do is follow the isobars. All you have to do is follow the flow of the moisture here to see which way the wind is blowing. Now it's coming in like this. Let me make this a little bit bigger. It's coming in like this over here. A little bit more of a north wind here, and even wrapping around right here, and probably offshore in Miami. I'm not positive, but I think that's going to be an offshore wind now in Miami because the shape of this structure with your low pressure sitting right about there. Now, what's that going to do? Well, it's going to pile up the water specifically from Port St. Lucie on because now the water, the fetch is going to be a little more direct here. That's going to bring in that moisture, all that water right here. And then if you just keep pushing it away, it's all right. But here it's going to pile up. It's going to pile up tremendously, I think, from this area, Port St. Lucie up to Palm Bay and into that region south of Titusville and Cape Canaveral. It is there's some inlets right there, Ponce Inlet, Jupiter Inlet. Some of those inlets there, I think the water's going to be shoved up in there for a while. So keep that in mind. If you're headed out and about over the next several hours, that would be the case as you go into the next 3 or 4 hours before this thing takes on a different shape. If it does, in fact, at all take on a different shape, and I think that's quite possible that it could. Satellite image again. We'll always go to these because they tell the story. And overall, what we're looking at here, first of all, in the long wave, is showing you that the colder cloud tops, those are the ones that have colder cloud tops, are the ones that have most of the moisture in them. They are showing up into the brighter colors. Those are the colder cloud tops. And you're getting some negative numbers here in the 40 to 50, negative 40 to 50 up there at about 35,000 feet. So it's cold up there, cold enough to be, that's what the blue is, I think, is negative 50. And so you're getting these cold cloud tops. Those are the ones that produce the precipitation. And that's some of the thunderstorms that are beginning to gather around the low pressure center right there. And I think I can show you, I don't think it's dark just yet. There's probably enough for me to show you at least. Let's see, is it dark? It's almost dark. Let me put this into motion just a little bit here. This is the visible satellite image. So what you're seeing is very difficult here to maintain because the sun is beginning to set. But notice the blow up of thunderstorms there, if you will, over those last few images. We started to see some of those. I'm going to stop it here for you to show you. We started to see some of those right there. See the blow up that took place south of Freeport? That's got the sun setting to the left, so you got a shadow on the right hand side of the tower, and that's what that was. It was a blow up of thunderstorms right there at the very end of what was taking place. You can probably already see it in the lower water level data too. This doesn't matter what time of day it is. This is the water content that's available. Green indicating the most moisture. The browns are dry air, trying to sneak into the system overall, but it's got, again, quite a bit of moisture around the entire thing as it wraps up and moves from Marsh Harbor back over to Freeport and then coming on shore here pretty soon from the west and to the east. Let me get you some of the data here from Miami. We've got a remark of a Mesonet station there reporting the government cut had a wind gust of 40 miles per hour. The site has an elevation of 75 feet, but 40 miles per hour, we can do that. You can do that on an afternoon with a thunderstorm coming on by. That's not the real thing that we're worried about. What we are worried about is the sustained precipitation that'll be coming in, the sustained wind from one direction that's going to cause it to pile. 40-mile-per-hour wind there as well on Delray Beach. That's from a Mesonet station. Go a little further to the north, it's Lake Worth, Florida, where we still have a buoy station just offshore at the Worth Pier, measuring a sustained wind of 42, gust up there a little bit higher at 47. So that's about 41 knots there. That's very near. Well, it's actually on the lake there, I think, at Fort Worth. And just north of Boynton Beach, another remark here, which is the same one that I just read. A station there in West Palm Beach measuring a wind gust of 40 miles per hour. That's at Palm Beach County. And just south of there, there is a station reporting a wind gust of 52 miles per hour. So you get the story. That's a little higher than I thought was going to be showing up at this time of day because we're still a little ways. The storm is still a ways out there offshore. How far is it? Well, the center of the storm's about here, and we can draw the arrow. It's about 156 miles still offshore to the center of the storm. Very disorganized center of the storm, if you will. But offshore, that's, 40, 50. That means we could still do 70 as it gets closer and closer to shore and moves on in pretty quickly here now. If you look back at Coconut Point, this was the area here that we were watching with the storm surge. Just how much surge would there be outside of Sebastian Inlet? This is on the east side, if you will, of Cape Canaveral there, one of the barrier islands. And we're still watching the stairs right there. Right now, we got water coming into the bottom of the stairs. About 45 minutes ago, it was about 5 feet from the bottom of those stairs. So it just gives us an indication that we still have water coming up. It is still filling in here across this area. And that, again, is just outside of Palm Bay, just to the north of Evan Pines. The one that's a few miles to the north of there as well has sort of a similar situation in the Atlantic here, where you can see a lot of the wind is blowing through. We don't have water just yet. We have a trail over here on the left. This might be a deer cam. I'm not really sure at this point. This is a deer trail coming up on the left-hand side here, and we may be just trying to catch critters coming in as we look at it at this point. The Gulf is to your back. The Atlantic Ocean is to your front, and you can see then it is an onshore wind. That is going to be the case going into the rest of this evening with an onshore wind at all these locations off to the north. Just outside of Cape Canaveral, we do have another tower there reporting 49 knots, which is 56 miles per hour. That's a wind out of the northeast into northern Brevard County. Last but not least, near Klondike Beach in Brevard County, there's a tower there who had a wind gust of 49. That's 56 miles per hour. Moving out of the north at about 15 to 20 miles per hour there. And going a little bit crazy there. From Palm Coast, we go northward. Flagler Beach. Flagler Beach, that's that area. When I was going to school, Flagler Beach is where you can take your top off if if you were a guy. State Road A1A is closed in the vicinity of Marineland. A1A is closed right there. It goes all the way up to St. Augustine, the oldest city in the United States. And it looks like here it's closed as well near Villanelle. That is the situation there across that region, too, with some of that precipitation starting to move in and do so pretty rapidly overall. We did have some lightning. That's a dot. It might as well be a UFO. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's see. Got some new products here from Radar Omega. Let's just go back over here and look at the radar itself. And we'll go to a couple of radars here. We'll take a look, first of all, at the Melbourne radar because it was showing us one thing. But the Melbourne radar, looking out over the water, does, in fact, show much of the precipitation as it's coming on in from the Bahamas, the northern Bahamas, as being light to moderate. Broken stuff on the eastern coastline of the state of Florida that goes all the way down to Fort Lauderdale and beyond, or Freeport. Down in Freeport, we still have some heavy rain. I don't know how much it's rained there, but it's been gully washer overall, and it hasn't stopped just yet in any of those areas. The precipitation levels are coming up, and that'll just keep going through the rest of this evening there in that region. Down here in Miami, AMX is the Miami radar. This is a busy site as well. And this one actually shows you, the Miami radar shows you a better idea of where the center of this storm is. And here really is the first chance that we've had to look at the eye of the hurricane. This is the back left-hand side of the eye of the hurricane. The eye wall, if you will, is on this western side near Freetown and Freeport. Hey, in fact, look at what is happening here. We're actually seeing a restructuring of the eye wall. We don't have great representation at this point, but enough to where you can see a few things that are happening here. One is that I do believe we're seeing a restructuring because you have two outer eye walls right there for a short amount of time. Right there, I think, is the inner eye wall that was very visible to us not that long ago right here. I think that's the inner eye wall, but notice this banding here sort of takes over. A cyclical process that will take place from time to time where you replace an eye wall just because of the fact that angular momentum causes that to take place, and it gives us a little bit better if you just intuitively think here about what this looks like. Now we have an idea that the eye is sort of like this, is shaped like this. And so for the first time, really get a better idea. That's a horrible, horrible circle that I just drew. It's a whole lot more concentric in real life, but more or less, that's kind of what we're looking at, which would also tell us that we could sort of, well, let's do this one. We could sort of measure and see how big our eye wall is if you took the measuring tool and you did that distance measurement. Let's see. I got to get rid of that first. So the measurement here is about, it's pretty wide if you look at it that way, which just really just means it's disorganized. It's terribly disorganized at this point. It's not looking like it's going to have a very tight concentric eye at this point. A lot of things can change. I'm sure the winds, this is where the highest winds are going to be in the southwestern quadrant here coming through Freeport at the moment. Freeport is reporting 0 in the wind category, but that may not last very long there. As soon as it goes on by, we'll probably get some more information out of there. But this is on the Big Island. This is near Freeport, back over to Marsh Harbor here, where we're looking at everything that is taking place over the last few minutes. Still got some individual thunderstorms that are ongoing offshore here. I say thunderstorms. I haven't seen a ton of lightning at this point, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be any. This is at Kendall. Actually, we might even see some of this beginning to spin from time to time. You can look at this with me and tell as well where you see differing colors. that are close to each other. We call that shear. Gate to gate shear would be taking place when you have pixel to pixel kind of stuff. Don't really see it just yet, but it is bound to happen, I think, as we go through time. Now, some of these winds already, as we were looking at, this is a 76-mile-per-hour wind that's going away from the radar site at this point, excuse me, coming into the radar site at this point. The red's going away from the radar site down there below, and we do have some of those numbers that are up into the 50s. So a good indication. What if we were going to the middle of that? That'd be like 60 or so. And probably going to be the case there as it all comes in. It is sticky down here. I mean, this is where the relative humidity is so high. I mentioned not having your shirt on a while ago, but if you get up out of a chair and you don't have your shirt on, the chair's coming with you. It's that kind of a humid sort of a situation. If you've never been in South Florida where the humidity was so high, it's oppressive actually. And when you lose electricity, you lose power. It's about the worst possible thing that can happen to you as you lose power down there in South Florida. I was in a couple of hurricanes down there back into the 80s. Lost power, Hurricane Kate and Atlanta that came across North Florida. It's just nasty when you do that, and especially if you end up with nothing to eat. I was down there and I actually had to. Well, can I tell this on the air without getting in trouble? I had to break into a vending machine. It's because I had nothing else to eat, and I left a note on the door and I said, "Look, I broke into your vending machine because I needed a Kit Kat in order to survive." And I ate a Kit Kat. I ate like 3 Kit Kats that were waterlogged for 3 days. Woo! Got that off my chest. That's been bothering me for years and years. Anyway, back to where we were here, basically with what we are seeing, which is a storm that is approaching, coming out of the Bahamas. Already passed through Nassau, passed through Freeport, back down to Fort Lauderdale and beyond. Much of that will continue to keep going in that general direction onshore to the north of West Palm, Port St. Lucie, back over to Palm Bay and beyond, and then further and further down to the south as we see it. I understand power crews are all over the Melbourne area. They're parked. They're ready to go. Thank you, Michael Peace. Just sent me that note. The power crews are ready. And that's good news. Those people do such great work. I saw them coming in from the north and today, already headed down to the south to help out with the situation down there. So that is great news there overall. And we still have some of this that's going to be moving in later on tonight. So it's going to be an overnight threat for many. And those guys and gals will be working overnight tonight for quite some time in order to, take care of everybody. So pretty much what we're looking at. Very concerned in Port St. Lucie, Ronald says. And Ronald, let me just tell you, Port St. Lucie's off to the north here. You're in a trajectory where this comes into your south. It is going to be you're going to be in the area where some of the highest winds will be. Still thinking that is going to be the case. The high winds that will be coming in there. If we look at what time that's going to happen, again, we'll just quickly go to the model here and take a quick look. This is the hourly model that shows us hour by hour what is projected to be, and it updates itself every hour as well. We got just some scattered stuff coming into Port St. Lucie up until 6 o'clock tonight. But as you move to 7 or 8, this is the first outer band that'll be showing up, the outer band of the storm, which is right here. So that outer band is going to be coming on shore, and with that is where your highest winds are first going to be seen. These are going to be winds that'll top 60 miles per hour, perhaps, coming into Port St. Lucie by 8 o'clock tonight. By 8 o'clock tonight. And after that, you're going to stay on that side of the storm that I think is still going to be in a lot of the higher wind. Look, if this is true, this is one of the models. Port St. Lucie would be near the center, the eye of the hurricane. Come 1 a.m., you might actually look up and see stars if you were to go outside in Port St. Lucie. So kind of following that, have you been in 60, 70 mile per hour winds lately? In some cases, you probably were. If you were in, some sort of a severe thunderstorm warning, it's, it's not that rare to be inside of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds during a severe thunderstorm warning. And so a lot of that is, you've already been prepared for. A lot of the trees and limbs have already come down due to severe thunderstorm warnings that have already taken place earlier during the summer when you have one of those big, brisk deals coming in off the coast there. We get a sea breeze. So 60 to 70 may not cause any damage it's likely everything that's pretty sturdy there and new would be fine in 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Because, like I said, sometimes you go through afternoon thunderstorms that have that prolonged 60 to 70 mile per hour winds can cause stuff that is weak to go ahead and break off. And then that's when you start talking about the possibility of power outages. So I'd prepare there in Port St. Lucie. I'd prepare to lose my power just in case. Err on the side of caution. Have you some light available to you, some batteries operated lights, so that you can do that, and that would help you out tremendously there. And as you go through and do that, let's see. Make sure everyone. Michael says everybody get a shower. Oh, get a shower before the power goes out. Everybody needs to get a shower before the power goes out. That's a pretty good idea. At Michael's house, I don't know that he just invited every. You know, that's just not right, Michael. Anyway, get a shower. That's a good idea. Go ahead and get you a shower now while you can. You got clean water, and put water in your bathtub. Clean your bathtub and then put water in your bathtub. I wouldn't do it out of mine right now. I'd have to clean it first. But basically, that's how you can keep water that way. I know the folks over there with this is not Ian, by the way. This isn't even Ian's fourth cousin. This is nothing like Ian. So but they lost water for quite some time over there. And I just kept hearing the stories about how difficult it was not being able to take a hot shower and not being able to clean up. Well, that's one of the precursors of having a hurricane come by. But if there's any consolation to this at all, it's that this storm doesn't have the time to strengthen tremendously. It could go up to hurricane strength if that were the case. And there we go. And that's where we basically are with the moment, down to the moment, to what's happening here. Also, let's go up here and look at our cams again, see if the water's going up here. Coconut Point, the camera up there. We still have water. It's got a little salty haze on it there at the moment. I'm sorry, I'm looking at right now. Water is yeah, it's way yeah, remember it was down at the bottom step to begin with? Well, way over that now. The surge is, let's say we're coming up about 6 or 8 inches here over the past few minutes. The storm surge there. Again, this is just outside of Melbourne on the south side at Coconut Point, where we still have water coming on shore there. And the one that's further to the north is hey, there's some people there. Hey, I thought his trail camp's not a trail cam unless these folks come up and want to get their picture made. But nope, this is again a camera down here that we're looking at, where we may still have some indications of seeing that water come over the berm there into the short term. Let's see what's going on here. I just got an update about a satellite launch, but that doesn't affect us at all. A little bit further to the north, some of the other conditions here that we're looking at. How about we just look at another model here and talk about what everybody else is thinking? The GFS model, we often look at that model as well. It's not as high resolution, so when you look at it, it's going to have an open wave here. I feel fairly certain it won't be a closed low pressure center. Let me back it up just a little bit more. Well, there it is, and it does actually have a center. And again, sir, you down there at Port St. Lucie, you need to be paying attention to what's happening here because, again, this has the actual center of the storm coming right over Port St. Lucie. Time, again, is right at midnight, at the midnight hour tonight. And then passing on by. The banding features, again, are going to be the greatest, where you do, in fact, get about, right up in here and down in here. This is the dry area here into the middle, the actual tropical storm, i.e. hurricane at this point. And so certainly that's what we're looking at. Sir, can you answer a question, please? Ask me a question. Can power leave? Can power leave? Sounds like a trick question. Can power leave? I don't know, but Michael says you need to get a shower. You'd go ahead and get you a shower. I would do that right now before you lose power. You should get a shower. Brett Adair went to dinner. I feel pretty certain I lost him to dinner a little bit earlier, but I want to make sure that I've passed the information along to you. Thank you all for watching. We got about 1,300 people who are watching right now. Thank you. My mom must have called some people. Do appreciate you watching. If you got questions, I'd love to answer those for you as best I can, because I know probably this whole thing sort of snuck up on a few people here and there. We were looking at a couple of days ago at tornadoes that were taking place back into Texas following that, when this whole thing came out and started to show up as being a possible hurricane situation that was coming on in. I don't think we have a situation like that anymore. I don't have any reports from the Bahamas at the moment on how they've made out, but if somebody does, please pass that along to me, and I'll pass it along to everybody else. And um, ask me the question again, Mr. Ramirez. You said, can you answer yours? I'm sorry, I don't see the original question, but just send it to me again, and I will. It says, can power leave? I don't really know how to answer that. Can power leave? You can lose power. I don't think it's just power just doesn't kind of up and leave like Brett did me a little while ago, which is that's my own fault, basically. Did I show you the drone footage? Drone footage again that's coming in. Brett Adair took this drone footage of a bathroom, men's bathroom actually, where the bottom fell out of the bathroom here. They lost what was going on underneath. And can the power leave in West Palm Beach? Can the power leave? So the power can go out. Yeah. The power can go out in West Palm Beach. It could happen. It's not really likely, I don't think. But yes, the power can leave there in West Palm. If you're in Freeport in the Bahamas, Mr. Wilkie, please let us know what's going on. The Bahamas are almost a ghost town. Which part? I don't know that anybody left there, but a ton of rain. I know you folks in the Bahamas have gone through much worse weather in the past, where you haven't had so much that was really ongoing there. But it does happen from time to time when you see that sort of a situation, and you have the opportunity to leave. But what about Orlando, Florida? I got friends who are in a family who's in Orlando. Look, it's going to rain there for a while as we go into the rest of this evening and overnight tonight. Let's just look at the Orlando forecast here, and I can put this into motion to show you. It doesn't really let up there until tomorrow afternoon, 6 o'clock tomorrow. It looks like most of this mess is gone from Orlando, and you should be on the leading edge of seeing much drier air coming in. But if you're down there at the happiest place on earth, well, it doesn't get super happy until afternoon tomorrow, it looks like. And then it all passes on by and everything gets a whole lot better overall. Let me mention this real quick, because it is unbelievable at what's still going on here, because we have other things happening across the rest of the world. There is a winter storm that's ongoing, and they're going to see big amounts of snowfall, maybe in feet, showing up across the northern sections of North and South Dakota, Bismarck, back over to Dickinson, Fargo. The changeover will occur early tomorrow morning. It'll be all snow by that point, too. But there may be as much.
All right, guys. So, yes, I'm just here to give a little update on the Hurricane Nicole that is approaching Florida slowly but surely. So, for my fellow Floridians, guys, just hope you're well prepared, because we've been through this countless times. For those of us that live in Florida, I mean, I've been here all my life, so I'm kind of accustomed to this. Even though you can never get used to a hurricane, but just pray for the best for those that are in the direct path of the storm. We're all experiencing heavy winds right now, because there's heavy winds here where I am. So again, hope everybody is safe, and I'm going to be on maybe about 5 more minutes, guys, then I'm going to call it a day, because I have to come back in a few hours for 2 back-to-back interviews. Well, one is not so much an interview. One is pretty much a music video premiere, and that will be my brother Theodore Chestnut. So I'll be back in a few hours with my brother Theodore Chestnut for his music video debut titled "Feel So Good." So we'll be on not long, maybe 20 minutes, half hour tops, not too long, as he talk about his new video that is releasing today. So that will be 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Jamaica time, 12 a.m. UK, Nigeria, 1 a.m. South Africa, and 2 a.m. Kenya for those that will be up late. So if you're able to tune in, Lord's willing, we still have power then, will be here back at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then again, as long as we have power, I have the Ziegler family that will be joining me tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Jamaica time as well, 1 a.m. UK, 2 a.m. South Africa, 3 a.m. Kenya and Uganda. So if you're not busy, you're able to tune in, just kindly come through and let's hear about this wonderful family here. This family here is very musically inclined. So come on in and get to know more about them and what's next in their ministry. All right, so I'm going to tune into this news broadcast for about maybe give or take 5 or 10 more minutes or so, and then I'm just going to go rest up myself. All right, so let me tune back into the news. God bless you all. Welcome, Minister Annette Hall. Bless up yourself every time. Sister Militia Hare, bless up yourself. My bro, Ricky 365 for life. Bless Ricky Life 365. Bless up yourself. Doran Charles, bless up yourself. All the silent listeners, bless up yourself every time. My mom, Evangelist Melvina Thomas, bless up yourself. All the passerbys, those that will be watching the rebroadcast, bless up yourself. All right, so a few more minutes and then I'm out of here. Here's the news update.
River County for about an hour and a half now, and really has not been much rain, but it's the wind. It's pretty relentless, and of course, as you come over the bridge onto the Barrow, you can feel how much stronger it is. And of course, out here, right on the shoreline, it's really intense. Some of the gusts are pretty incredible. Michael?
And I know it can only be a slice of what the overall picture is up and down the entirety of the coastline, but from what you've been able to see, obviously you're going to always have people who come out, want to look on at the scene, but is your sense, at least in the little piece of the world you're occupying at the moment, that a lot of people did say, I'm going to go farther inland? Voluntary evacuation orders. They're not going to lock down bridges, but they're certainly going to urge people when those winds get up to 45 miles an hour that they need to stay put. What is your sense, just in your early assessments out there, that people are paying attention to the ask to have left?
So it's a good point. We had checked into our hotel earlier today. There were some people who were coming in who had done some voluntary evacuations, but there are a lot of people who are still kind of out and about sightseeing around here. And this is the one thing that Indian River County officials were kind of warning against. They were sensing that a lot of people this time of year, especially now into mid-November, were having hurricane fatigue. We all kind of thought this hurricane season had passed, and they want people to guard against that. Now, we understand there is the enticement of kind of see how strong the ocean is and what conditions are like, but officials are warning people not to keep doing this. This is going to have to stop at some point, and of course, we as news crews are also going to have to stop at some point and kind of retreat back a little bit as conditions become unsafe. But they certainly, walking along this boardwalk the way it is and knowing that the history that it's had with suffering damage, I wouldn't want to be walking on there. I'll take my chances back here on the road and kind of keep retreating back as that ocean keeps coming towards this roadway.
I was going to say, Matt, staying on terra firma as long as it remains terra firma. And Matt, doesn't take much imagination that if we're seeing that at 4:32 live, what it'll be like on into the night as you and your team continue to assess what you're seeing out there. Matt, we'll be coming to you as we can throughout the entirety of the evening. We appreciate your report live. Matt Szczesny, one of our veterans out there, keeping an eye on the situation and assessing what's going on up and down the coastline. And we'll be back with more coverage of Nicole in just a moment.
All right, guys, so that there is the update on this storm here. So again, I pray that everyone's doing well. And for my fellow Floridians, guys, just take cover, stay safe. Don't go out on the road unless you really have to. So again, I greet all of you name by name, title by title. Again, all the silent listeners, I greet you well. Again, I'll see you all later, Lord's willing, if you're able to join me back in a few hours. Again, I'll be back here with my brother here, Theodore Chestnut. He is going to be on for the release of his new video, his new music video for Feel So Good. So if you're able to come on in the room and get to watch this new video that he has that drops today, he will greatly appreciate that. So also directly after him, well, I won't be on him long. It'll be maybe half hour, give or take. It won't be that long because it's just a premiere. But at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'll be back with the Ziegler family. And let me tell you, they are a very powerful family. God bless you, bro, Ricky, for life. Ricky Life. Sorry, I'm messing up your name. So yes, I'll be back with the Ziegler family here, and they are straight out of the same town that I am in. Well, the next town over, I should say. They are from the same. We're from the same county. So I was happy when I met them. You know, there's a lot of people that are in my area that I have no clue about until we kind of got to know each other through a award show. So that's how I kind of got introduced to them. And so they'll be on tonight, and we'll all get to know more about their ministry. This is an entire family, so they're very musically inclined. Let me tell you. So when you hear their music, you will see what I mean by that. So again, God bless you all. Thank you all for coming in. My pleasure, bro, Ricky. I try to keep everyone updated. So as long as this weather permits, I'll be on tonight. But if there is any tornado warnings, just know that I'll have to cut the live short. I mean, because I'm not gonna sit on in bad weather. But I mean, I'm sure I'll have my battery, my phone, everything will be charged up, tablet, laptop, everything will be charged up. But at the same time, have to conserve the battery life as long as we have to, because you never know if we lose power or whatever. So I'll be on with them 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, and get to know more about their ministry. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Much love and blessings every time. It's your girl, Sister Izzy on the beat, man. And I will see you all. Ricky down south, ma. So he's getting the weather before we get it. So he's hitting it before. I mean, he's getting the wind and rain before we do. Hey, my brother Opuku Larry, bless up yourself every time. I'm actually about to cut the live short. I just want to come on for like half hour. I want to come on for a half hour just to give everyone an update on Hurricane Nicole as it approaches us. So it will be making landfall this evening. So we just prepping ourselves, got ourselves in order here, and we're prepared as best as we can be. So Ricky, I hope that you're prepared. I hope you and the family are prepared. We go through these storms pretty much every year. So, I mean, if you live in Florida, you know the routine to prepare yourself, get your non-perishable items, get your water, get your batteries for your fans and your TV or whatever it is you have, your portable chargers, all that good stuff. Make sure you have it close by, your lanterns, get your battery powered light, whatever, and just stay prepared because, they can say it's going to be a 1, and by the time we sleep and wake up, it can be a 2 or a 3. So we don't know. These things are not predictable. So, I mean, they only give us an estimate of what they believe it is. So let's just use wisdom and just get our stuff together. All right. So again, God bless you all. Have a blessed, safe, wonderful evening. Much love and blessings every time. It's your girl, Sister Izzy on the beat, man. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever part of the world that you are from. See you later. You're locked in listening to Sister Izzy on the beat, man. Join me each and every Tuesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Caribbean time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock UK and Nigeria, via YouTube and Facebook at Sis Izzy Thomas. See you there.